Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today we are covering the menu. But before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea. So, I am drinking the Republic of Tea pomegranate green tea. It's got green tea, hibiscus, pomegranate, and other natural flavors.
And I am drinking one of my personal favorites from Republic of Tea, the Daily Beauty Blueberry Lavender Tea. And it has blue butterfly pea flower and blueberry, hibiscus, rose hip, bamboo, and schizandra berry.
And thank you to the Republic of Tea for allowing us to continue to do what we love. And for our lovely tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So for the summary, a woman goes on a date with what, I don't know, I would call him an obsessive foodie.
Oh, yes.
To a restaurant that's on a secluded island. And she quickly finds out that the meal is not exactly your typical dinner date. Yeah. So for entertainment, I will say this movie, like these types of movies, I don't even know how you would describe like this type of movie, but typically these types of movies, I really don't enjoy or get a lot out of. It's like one and done type of thing. But this one, it has a certain satisfaction to it. It does. That I would watch it again. So I give this a 7.5. I forgot his name, but the guy that plays Voldemort does such a good job.
We are awful with names.
I know. I really should look people up.
I don't remember his name either, but he does do a really, really good job.
He is 100% believable as this master chef.
Yes.
And I love how, like, I mean, all of the characters make the movie, between the chef, between the girl, between her date, which it's the guy that plays Renfield.
Yes.
And the zombie in Warm Bodies. Mm-hmm. Like, he does a really good job. I really enjoyed the girl, though. Like, the woman, she does, like, such a good job. But I just love how, like, they just have all very distinct personalities.
Even the head of the dining room.
Yes. But it's just like a wild ride. It's like, I love how it first starts off like really subtle, where it's like, oh, you get these really weird foods, like the breadless like dip thing. It's like, oh, you're just supposed to eat the dip. And I just love how she goes to the bathroom and he comes in the bathroom and he's like, why aren't you eating your food?
Unaccompanied accompaniments.
Yeah. Unaccompanied. Yeah, I love the whole like flash on the screen, the menu, and like what the...
It was like a cooking show. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah. Like, this movie is perfection.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Very few flaws.
Yeah. And then the fact that they like reveal that everyone's going to die at the end of the night. And at first I didn't really quite believe it, but then like as they reveal like why, it's just like, that does kind of fit. Like, I kind of like I see where they're coming from. Not that I would want the characters to die, but it's just like, I can see like they're just culty and crazy enough to like go like believe that. I love the death of the date guy. Just how he, he's like doing all of the, like, he is such a like food critic and is just looks up to this master chef so much that his like ultimate punishment is to like to cook for him and to have the chef like,
just completely roast him.
Yeah. And then, I thought that's fitting. And then how the girl escapes is amazing.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was so
Can't
smart.
believe it worked, but it was brilliant.
Yeah, and she just walked away. Well, it's like, and it makes sense because how crazy he is and how everything has to fit perfectly. It's like if he would have kept her in, it wouldn't have fit the ending. Like it would have ruined it.
Well, also, she showed him or gave him a taste of what it was like for him when he first started to cook.
Yeah.
When he was doing it just for the sheer love of it.
Yeah.
And to feed people and watch them enjoy it.
Yeah.
So he had been missing that for a very long time. Like she said, there was no love in it.
Yeah.
So she gave him a taste of what that was like and put him back there. So he, as a gift, I think, let her go.
Yeah.
But, oh man.
Yeah. And then I really liked their dynamic.
Yes.
That worked really well.
Absolutely.
The ending with the fucking s'mores. I was laughing. I'm like, This is so stupid. It's like, it was like the whole, like the pattern on the floor and stuff. That was kind of beautiful. But the fact that they're sitting here covered in marshmallows with a little chocolate hat.
Yep.
And they're going to fucking die like that.
Yep.
Like, and they just sat while they're like, I mean, I have some comments about that for the realism.
Oh, yeah.
But like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, like the movie was a whole vibe, and I was kind of living for it.
For it, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, you just have to like just let yourself get sucked into it and don't think about it too hard, because it is. Yeah, it's like typically those types of movies I'm not a fan of, but for some reason, it's just, it was the right mood, the right mix of actors. It was a good one. I'm going to watch this again just because, I mean, the ending was very satisfying too.
It was. Honestly, it really was.
But I like how they have like the food critic and then like they have like the different sections and the people that committed like tax fraud or whatever.
Embezzlement and tax fraud, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But
it's just all the things.
All the things, yep.
Yeah. Yep. And the famous person that was starting to become irrelevant.
Yeah.
And was name dropping like the chef. Just to try to stay relevant and seem like he was still important and knew all these important people when really he had never even met them.
Yeah. Yeah. I love how, at first the foodie guy, the food critic guy, he seems, just a little bit crazy and obsessive, but it's just like, okay. It's like, I still kind of on his side, but then when it's like he knew that she was going to die and he brought her anyways because he's like, oh, they don't let singles. Like, it made his death a little bit more satisfying.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I had kind of thought that he was the main character because it kind of showed them fairly equally.
It looked like it, yeah.
But then they kill him off and you're like, oh. Well, they make him appear like an asshole.
Yeah.
And then they switch to the girl.
Which is kind of rare for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't see him in that role often at all.
Yeah. But he does play the obsessed, like...
Oh, yeah.
Nerdy.
Obsessed foodie.
Yeah.
Fanboy.
He plays that really well.
He does.
Yep.
Well done.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is definitely not a first viewing of this movie for me. And each time I watch it, I like it even more. Honestly. I give this one an 8.
Oh, damn.
I really like this one.
Maybe after a few more watches, I'll give it an 8.
Maybe. But I really enjoy it. There's some dry humor in it. And there's some wit in it. There's some intrigue.
I feel like it's a lot of dark humor.
It is, for sure. But that just makes my dark little soul happy. So
like the s'mores.
yes. I do disagree with the chef's assessment of a s'more. I mean, I get that it's awful for you, but it's not horrible, and it doesn't represent everything wrong with the food industry and where it went. Come on now, that's a little harsh. They're tasty. They're tasty.
Well, they're a camp food. They're a camp snack.
Yeah.
It's like there's no industry thing involved. It's you camping with family and friends, and
this particular kind of dessert isn't meant to be classy.
No.
Or upscale or intricate or anything like that. It's supposed to be down and dirty, just a quick, easy,
they're messy
fun,
as fuck.
Messy thing. And that's why it's associated with innocence. Is because it's simple, it's cheap, and it's messy.
I feel like it's also
fun.
Really a nostalgic treat for a lot of people.
It really is. So I do disagree with them on that point. But all of the plating that they did for all of the things looked amazing. They all looked like pieces of art. Mm-hmm. It did seem a little bougie.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, the kinds of places that do that kind of plating, and especially when they give like the tiniest portions ever,
because they give you so many
for
courses.
Obscene price amounts, irk me to no end. I'm with the main girl. Give me a freaking burger any day of the goddamn week.
Yeah, I feel like she represented the majority of the audience as just like, are you kidding me? Like, this is bullshit.
But it was such an interesting movie, and to see how it makes sense how easy it would be to almost become a cult. Like, they were basically brainwashed. Yeah. They had bare bones barracks. They had to use the toilet in front of each other. There was nothing covering anything.
Yeah.
There was no personality. There was no personal effects by any of the beds. No pictures on the wall. Nothing.
It's very much a cult.
It was very much a brainwashed cult. And they moved as a unit, and they worked beautifully together. They did. But you could see how almost uncanny valley it was. Like, everything was just slightly off when they were giving the tour. They just didn't seem quite real, quite human. So you could tell right away that something's weird here.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that it was like $1,300 per person just to eat there one night. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous.
Only to be killed.
Oh my god. But when he goes into, like, each one, why each person, each guest was gonna die, you can't really blame him for all of them. It's extreme, I get it, but, like, at the same time...
Like, he's got a point.
I mean... But when he gets to the chick that was with the famous dude, he's like, where'd you go to university? Brown? Student loans? No? Yeah, you're gonna die. Like, he even paused for a moment. It was like, yeah, no, you're gonna die, sorry. Nope. Absolutely not. I did also, again, find it interesting, the dynamic between him and the main girl, and how he was trying to explain to her that while he wasn't going to change his plan, he would prefer if she would understand why he was doing it. And explaining his philosophy of there are givers and there are takers. And she kind of shows him at the end that it's not all black and white. Like, there are people that are both. Because that's human nature.
Yep.
So I really enjoyed that for sure. And just the different things that they came up with for each of the meals was interesting to hear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was... And they had good shock factor, too.
Yeah.
With that first death.
Yeah.
Like, personally, when they rolled out the plastic on the floor, I was like, oh, shit, what's about to happen?
Yeah, it happened suddenly.
Shocked me a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit's about to go down for sure, but I don't know quite how. Oh, that's how. Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty then. Yeah. So, but it was a very interesting movie. I pick up different things each time I've watched it so far, so I just end up liking it more and more the more views that I have on this movie. So, definitely worth a watch.
Yep. Realism. That's a tough one. I mean, the whole cult thing and them being so willing to die, 100% can see. But the whole, like, restaurant just being like, oh yeah, we're actually going to do this, that... But then, like, the chef being like, why won't you eat your food? Will you tell me why? And then him, starting off with like having passion and love and then losing that over time and wanting to like rekindle that, like that's
burnout is real.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely see that. I'm going to go with a 2, I think. Yeah. I will say the biggest thing though, or maybe 1.5. I don't know. Because the thing that I find the hardest to believe, and it's like I understand they show that they're in danger, like they're not like safe until like their death, but and they do attempt to escape once, but the fact that they don't try harder, I don't know. It just seemed like the guests kind of accepted their fate and didn't really try that terribly hard to get away. I don't know. It's like all of them against all of the other people. At least it's kind of a somewhat even match. I mean, they're like maybe slightly outnumbered, but...
Oh, they were definitely outnumbered.
But I don't know. It's like I feel like they just kind of gave up too easily.
Yeah, I get that.
And then especially like... when they realize that they're going to be lit on fire, I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit and just let myself come ablaze. Yeah. Like, no, like, yeah, it's like I would have pictured them like tying them up, or I don't know. It's like that was kind of hard. It's all around like the fact that they're going to die is where I have the hardest time believing it. Mm-hmm. But like the eccentric chef, the cult-like behavior, the foodie, and they show, I feel like the characters themselves are believable. But yeah, just the whole situation is where I have trouble like believing. But it is supposed to be ridiculous, so.
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to give it a 4.
Oh.
The only thing that I really have a hard time believing is that last scene of them just sitting there, not trying to leave or trying to fight back or anything. Mm-hmm. I could understand a few of them sitting there accepting it, or just sitting there in shock, but not all of them. No. I can easily see in that isolated kind of environment where everything is about the work and about the restaurant, it becoming basically a brainwashed cult. I can. And it is an extremely competitive field to work in. Especially the high-end restaurants like that. Like, positions even in the lower parts, like lower ranks of those kitchens are highly coveted. So, and every position is important. So I get that people would have that kind of mindset of this is everything. And what he says is law, basically.
Yeah.
I can easily see his reasoning. I don't agree with it necessarily, but I see his reasoning of why he chose each of the people. And the foodie really just wanted to be there. He had been a huge fan forever, had been conversing with him for months. He wasn't actually a critic.
Yeah.
But he was a big foodie.
Yeah, he wasn't necessarily, like, critiquing him.
But he worshipped the ground he walked on.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he was kind of an ear outside of the island. Like a sounding board, almost. And potential helper. Like if he needed something off of the island to be done. Potentially. He seemed like he had some connections here and there. I mean, he obviously had the money at least to get 2 tickets.
You're like, what does he do for a living?
Seriously. But the fact that he knew that everyone was going to die, and he was initially going to take his girlfriend, and the only reason he didn't was because she broke up with him. That was a little... He did seem like that big of an ass that he chose someone else. I'm surprised he didn't just choose someone else that he knew that he wouldn't mind dying, but I guess it might have been easier for him to just get a random stranger to go with him.
Yeah.
Call girl, if you will.
Yeah.
To go with him instead, since he didn't know her, it might have been easier for him instead of someone he knew. But he was clearly a bit of a zealot.
Yeah.
And he was going to be there.
Yeah.
He played that role really well.
Yeah.
And he was a total ass.
From the beginning, because it's like, you don't.
An elitist ass.
Yeah. It's like, you don't return your food.
God, super obsessive. Food. Everyone has their views on food, but that kind of person and I are not compatible. Like,
I mean, food gives you energy. It's just.
Yes, it does, and I agree that it should taste a certain way. Like, you should enjoy eating it.
Yes,
but it doesn't always have to be an amazing work of art either.
Yeah, well, it's like. Like, oh man, yeah, it was honestly driving me nuts how intricate they were, like, putting everything. And it's like, people are just gonna eat it and shit it out. Like, that's...
And again, it's nice every now and then, but every single plate, every single time, being 100% perfect is ridiculous. And it really does take all of the love out of it. I don't care how good it tastes, it's not going to be perfect. It's not. So, and again, like when it comes out super, super pretty, you almost don't want to eat it.
Yeah, right.
So, there's balance there. But food is meant to be eaten and meant to be enjoyed. Generally.
Yeah.
Generally.
Otherwise, what's the fun?
Yes, what's the point?
Well, it's like, and they say, like, our gut and our brain are very, like, intertwined with each other. They actually call the gut, like, the second brain.
Yes.
And so it's like, that's why food is so powerful, because it's like, as we eat, it brings up nostalgia. As we eat, it brings up, you know, like, joy. It's like, you know, there's, food is, or can be impactful, but why make it, why go through all of the effort to make it an art and just Yeah.
Well, it's also a unifier.
Yeah. That's true.
Everyone in the world eats. Food is a unifier. So, but it evokes such emotions and nostalgia and things because you don't just use one sense when you're eating.
Yeah.
You smell it, you see it. If you're cooking it, you hear it. Because there are some things that you can tell about when it's done cooking by the sound that it's making, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but my mom always said you first eat with your nose, then your eyes, then your mouth. And she's right.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of our taste buds are also connected to our scent. Like our ability to smell.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes from that.
Yeah, that's why when, if you lose your sense of smell, you can't taste.
Yeah.
Like for the poor people that have gotten COVID and lost their sense of smell. And that's why everything tastes like cardboard.
Yes. So it can be important, but again, it doesn't also have to be perfect every time. But with the reputation of the place, everything for that restaurant, he did feel like needed to be on that level and stay at that level at all times. So he demanded a lot from his staff. So again, can easily see the brainwashing thing. I don't quite understand how she wouldn't have been able to get a signal out unless they were just out of range to the Coast Guard using the shortwave radio. Unless it was just that, a shortwave radio, or she didn't use it right.
Yeah.
Or they were just out of range.
Yeah. Oh, no.
But not entirely sure. But it was brilliant the way that she was able to escape.
Yeah.
And it really brought the story together. That was a little iffy still of how that worked.
Yeah. At first I was like, is it really that easy? But I'm like, no, it kind of like fits between like what they said in the beginning. And yeah.
It kind of does. I mean, cooking is his life and that's what he's dedicated his entire being to and everything. So when she doesn't eat, it makes sense that it's driving him absolutely nuts. So when she finally is like, you know what? I'm still fucking hungry.
It gives him like closure.
Well, what do you want to eat? Because there's a customer that came into his restaurant. He's meant to be feeding all of them and they're supposed to leave full. That is how it works in his mind. He has not done his job. He wants to do his job. So that was a nice little call there. Still a little... It's like on the fence for me for that particular part of the movie. Because like on the one hand, it fits... But on the other hand, that seriously worked, dude.
Yeah, and it's like, why didn't anyone else try that shit?
Yes.
They're like, we're still hungry too.
Yeah. Can we take ours to go as well? No, they all just stayed sitting there. Yeah, that's the biggest beef that I had with that part.
And it's like, at least whenever I was watching the movie and watching it did seem like he was thinking about it. If he's like, do I really want her to get away?
Yeah.
But then he's like, okay.
He's like, I'll allow it.
Like, she wasn't supposed to be here anyways.
She wasn't supposed to be here, and she gave me a little piece of that back, so...
Yeah.
She's not so bad. Everybody else here sucks, but she's not so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, overall, this is a very weird, but, like, ridiculous.
And very interesting movie.
Yeah, very interesting movie. For sure. But thank you for joining us today, and let us know what you thought of the movie. If you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And let us know also what other dish that you would have preferred over some of these artsy-fartsy dishes. the as she called it, avant-garde bullshit that they served, because I would love to know. And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a Teespring and PayPal donate button available, or we have our affiliate link with Republic of Tea. It does not affect the price of the tea, it just allows us to continue to do what we love. And you can find all of the sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy. Bye!